Mike Ferrin has been with SiriusXM for a long, long time. You can find him on SiriusXM Baseball, College Channel, both channels. Mike Ferrin knows the Valley. Welcome.
Oh, it's great to be here, Brad. And, this is the best time of year, right? I always think that Phoenix is the baseball capital of the world. And as we start getting towards spring training, there is nothing truer between major league teams, college action, the WBC this year. This is the place that you want to be.
Okay, so when you first got here and Cactus League was starting to where it is now, 15 teams, Mike.
Yeah.
How does it strike you when it gets to be pitchers and catchers are here, teams are arriving, and how do you just navigate it? What's the buzz like for you?
Well, for us, living here, the first thing we notice is the traffic picks up, right? So that means that everybody's coming in. I think the biggest thing is just watching the difference between when I would come here as a kid to now. It's a much bigger deal. And I think it's great that so many people are planning their vacations, their time off around spring training. And that's something I dreamed of doing as a kid. You wanted to get out of the Midwest, to get out of the cold.
Yeah.
And so this was a great opportunity to do that. But I think buzz is the right word. You're talking about, 7 different venues or 8 different venues a day that have 10 to 15,000 people at it for every game. You end up on those perfect sunsplash days where you're at Salt River, you're here. This is one of, I think, the hidden gems in the Cactus League in Maryville, where there's not a bad seat. And you get in here and there's 10,000 people and you see people sunning themselves and enjoying it. And it's such a relaxed atmosphere because there's not the same intensity of every game mattering, that it's really fun. And you can let the kids run around, and they're never going to get very far because the ballparks aren't that big. So it's just having that energy in the park, having everybody excited about springtime, excited to be in the warm weather. I think that really helps create this.
Okay, this year we have the WBC here. Walk me through that from your view. Fans may not be aware of World Baseball Classic and the players that they're going to see in the countries.
Well, and this is a big deal because the World Baseball Classic is basically the World Cup for baseball. It expanded to 20 teams this year, and Phoenix is going to be the home for Pool C from March 11th to the 15th. And the teams that are involved in that are Team USA, Team Mexico, Team Canada, Colombia, and Great Britain. So in some cases, you're going to see incredible prospects like Harry Ford of the Mariners, young stars like Jazz Chisholm of the Marlins who are going to play for the UK team. And then for Team USA, you're just talking about an absolute all-star team. So Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, Mike Trout is the captain of the team. Clayton freaking Kershaw is going to pitch for Team USA here, right? Yeah. Arguably the greatest left-handed pitcher of all time is going to be a part of this event. It is intense competition in March, which you normally don't get in professional baseball. But these are some of the best players from all of these countries.
How about here at Milwaukee? What do you see for the Brewers here in spring?
Well, they have the best manager, I think, in baseball, in Craig Counsell, to start with. It's a really well-run organization that has arguably the top trio of starting pitchers in the National League, with Corbin Burns, a former Cy Young Award winner, Brandon Woodruff, and Freddie Peralta. And if Christian Yelich can bounce back a little bit, if some of their young outfield prospects can make a big play this spring, I'd keep an eye on Sal Frelick, who was their first rounder 2 years ago out of Boston College. This is a team that can run down the Cardinals in the National League Central. It's a really well-run organization. It's a really, really talented group. And listen, if you get a chance to see, Corbin Burns' first spring training start 2 years ago, the first 3 pitches he threw were 98 or 99 miles an hour. So if Corbin Burns is ready to go, you're going to see some serious stuff.
When you look at storylines that are of interest to you in the Cactus League this year, where would you go first?
Well, I think number one has to be the San Diego Padres. I think they're a team that continues to add star power, right? Well, we're talking they had just extended Yu Darvish for another 5 years. They signed Xander Bogaerts this winter. They'll have Fernando Tatis Jr. playing in spring training games while he finishes his PD suspension. They are one of the most exciting teams in baseball, and they're right here in the Valley. So that, to me, is one of the first places that I would look with Cactus League stories. Then, every team has them, right? Can the Guardians repeat what they did last year? Can the Dodgers, who really had a quiet winter, continue to hold on to that National League West and the top of the division? Can the Chicago White Sox bounce back? The Cubs made as many moves as anybody this winter. Is it enough to get them back into playoff contention? The Diamondbacks locally have a really exciting young team. What happens with that? It's your chance to see one of the best farm systems in baseball play a lot. And one of the great things about these Cactus League games is with the WBC, a number of regulars are gone to compete in that. So it's more chances if you are a total baseball dork like I am and you love prospects, this is your opportunity to see that too.
giving advice to the people that are coming in from out of town. So if they're staying here near Maryville or in this vicinity, and they need to get to, let's say, San Diego, they need to get over to Salt River Fields for the Diamondbacks, getting around and navigating if you're coming here to the Brewers, where would you stay? People are probably wondering, where should I stay?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're going to be centrally located here, I mean, you're in a great spot. You could either stay in Glendale, near where the Cardinal Stadium is. There's plenty of spots there, or you can stay downtown in Phoenix. And really, if you want to see a bunch of camps, I think staying downtown in Phoenix is the best. One of the great advantages that Arizona has over Florida spring training is that nothing is more than 45 minutes apart. Like if you were to go to Salt River Fields, which is the furthest in the Northeast, which is where the Rockies and Diamondbacks are, and go to Goodyear, which is where the Reds and the Guardians train, which is the furthest west, it's still only about 45 minutes. And the good news is, the entire city's on a grid, so it's easy to get around, right?
There's avenues and there's streets and there's Central.
And you've got loops that can help to take you around that on the 101, the 202, the 303.
Thank you for the time.
Oh, my pleasure, Brad. It's great to see you.
Mike Ferrin, find him on SiriusXM.